Leveling up. Extreme business growth through raising your game. When what was once extraordinary becomes ordinary, you know you've leveled up.
Hello and welcome to the Leveling Up Podcast with me, George Swift. The Leveling Up Podcast is here to give you the personal development, the entrepreneurial development and the business growth that you, the ambitious business owner, desires. I'm here to give you the inspiration, the motivation and to challenge your aspirations to take you and your business to the next level. Today it is Friday, so it's our Friday 5-minute fix. They're never 5 minutes, however, they're always on a Friday, and they are shorter, more condensed podcasts. Some bite-sized wisdom, some knowledge, some understanding, a shift in perspective or perception that you can take into your weekend to ponder on and to come out on Monday firing on all cylinders. Today I want to talk to you about fear and specifically about not allowing fear to bullshit you out of your success. Fear is an antiquated chemistry set within us. It's an emotional response dating back to when we were cavemen, going back to before that when we were shrews running around in the shrubs, going all the way back to when we were in the ponds right at the beginning of our own evolution. Fear was there to keep us safe. It was there to manipulate us internally, to take different action, to change our course of action, to react in a way that was perceived to be safe. However, in today's world where we really are predominantly safe, our fear constantly gets in the way of us being who we need to be, doing what it is that we need to do, and it bullshits us out of achieving what we could otherwise achieve. Fear is so destructive and it emanates through each and every one of us. It goes through society. It goes through our communities. It's the cause of all the pain. It's the cause of all the bad behavior, the violence. It's the cause of so much negativity. And yet, as a collective and as individuals, we just accept it as part of life. Because I get it, it's so uncomfortable to confront your fears. It's so painful to even sometimes go into your fears, to look into those fears, to look at where they come from, look at how they're manipulating you, to look at why they're manipulating you. I get it's really challenging. So before we even ran success groups and before we ran our extreme growth masterminds and long before I ever started this podcast, I used to work in personal empowerment, and that would be sometimes through the rehabilitation of victims of violent crime. It was latterly in through seminars and workshops. We used to do fire walks. We used to, break concrete breeze blocks. We'd break the arrows on our throats, bend iron bars on our throats. You may or may not have seen this or even participated yourself. And we used to run these workshops and these seminars. And I still to this day occasionally do some of this work because I just love it, right? I get to beat my chest and you get this incredible rush, both myself at the front of the room, but also just seeing the whole room come alive when they start to challenge and confront their fears and their self-doubt. And it's unbelievable when you become someone that dares to look at your fears, that dares to overcome your fears. And you really can. You don't need to give in to your fears. Now, I know there's the book, The Feel Fear and Do It Anyway. I get that. The truth of the matter is, however, if you're constantly just battling your own fears, if you're constantly driving against those fears, it's absolutely exhausting and it's so painful and uncomfortable. What's a better solution is to uncover those fears, to go into yourself and look at, number one, what is this experience I'm having? Why is it here? What is it trying to do for me? It's trying to keep you safe, right? That's its evolutionary background. So it's still trying to keep you safe. What's it actually trying to do here? What's it trying to manipulate? What's it trying to protect me from? Then you want to go into that and start really analyzing whether or not you should be fearful, whether or not this is really helping you or serving you. Now, I'm not saying your fear is going to instantly disappear from that place, but instead of just being blinded by the fear, you start to get involved in the fear. You start to gain awareness of the fear. You can start to get your foot in the door of fear. What I mean by that is that once that fear is running riot through you, and once it's taken over you, you're kind of locked in that fear. And it's like the door slamming shut. When the door finally slams shut, you are lost in that fear. If you can get your foot in the door before it slams shut, you're now in the process, okay? You've still got fear running through your body. I get it. You're still having this horrible experience and it feels uncomfortable and challenged. I get it, but you're in the process, okay? It hasn't completely taken you over yet. If the door slams shut, all you need to do, as the Buddhists would say, and so this too shall pass. The experience will pass. The chemistry set that is fear will pass through your bloodstream. Your job is to not engage with it that might make it continue or even to increase. So what you do is you be with the fear. You kind of allow the fear and it will pass out of you. But if you can get your foot in the door and stop fear from completely taking over you, you are then presented with an opportunity to make a choice. The quote you would have heard me say almost on a daily basis back in those days where I ran empowerment seminars, and you'll still hear me often today quoting this, and that is this: empowerment is not the absence of fear. Number one, I don't think you can ever truly do away with fear. And in fact, you probably wouldn't want to do away with fear because people that have very low levels of fear tend to die quite young. So even though we are living in a very safe, civilized society, if you had no fear at all, you probably would be behaving completely recklessly, and the chances are you wouldn't be with us today. So empowerment is not the absence of fear. Empowerment is the acknowledgement of choice in the presence of fear. So in other words, it's not about trying to get rid of fear. It's about understanding that even if you are having a fear response, that you do get to still make a choice. That choice is, do I allow this fear to stop me, or do I take action that I know is the right action for me? It's been said that fear, as a response, has an intelligence level of about 18 months to 2 years old. So that 18-month-year-old, that 2-year-old inside of yourself, when fear is running riot in your body, in your brain, in your life, the 2-year-old is actually making the decisions for your life. The 2-year-old has got the keys to your car, and you're wondering why your life isn't necessarily on track, or certain aspects or areas of your life aren't on track. The truth of the matter is, if you're listening to this and you're 25 years old, you are so much more intelligent than your fear. If you're 30, 40, 50 years old, you've got all that wisdom and knowledge, all that experience for you to be able to work out what the best course of action for you is, rather than allowing an 18-month-old or a 2-year-old intelligent response like fear take responsibility for guiding you through life. So I don't want you to be out there fighting your fear. I don't want you necessarily battling through your fear all day long. I just want you to gain the awareness of the choice that you have. I'm feeling fearful, and that's manipulating me down a certain path, perceived to keep me safe. And yet I know, because I am smarter and wiser than my fear response, that actually taking this other course of action is the right course of action for us. And therefore, I am the right person to be making this decision right now. And therefore, I'm going to trust in myself, irrespective of what chemical compounds are running riot in my unconscious. Does this make sense? But you've got to get your foot in the door before fear takes over to even have that conversation with yourself. You're not going to do away with fear. You're not going to get away with never having fear. What you want to do is you want to have an acknowledgement, an awareness of the opportunity of choice that you have, even if you are experiencing a fearful reaction to something outside of you. An opportunity for a big sale, you go into fear mode, you pull back when you know you should lean in. An opportunity to speak on stage and you say no when you know you should say yes. Fear will get you to contract your business when you should be expanding your business. Fear will make you think smaller when you should be thinking bigger. It will get you playing safe when you should be playing all out. Don't allow your fear to bullshit you out of your potential success. Okay, thank you for spending this time with me. I appreciate it as always. If you're a business owner and you haven't yet taken your business to 100 grand in turnover, don't forget I've got the 6-figure fast track completely free of charge waiting for you right now. It takes you through the mindset you need to have in place, the business model, and the day-to-day activity that you need to be focused on in order to take your business from 20, 30, 40, maybe 50,000 to 100 grand turnover or more within the next 12 months. You'll find that it's a 6-figure fast track on my website, biggerbrighterbolder.co.uk/fast track. I'll put the link in the description below. Please do go and listen to that. I'll see you on Monday. Until then, as always, be successful.
Leveling up. Extreme business growth through raising your game. When what was once extraordinary becomes ordinary, you know you've leveled up.